Hello everyone, this is Mr. Marshall. I am from Truganina College. This is for the Year 9 students of their Week 2 of Flexible Learning. Now, this unit of work, we will be looking at algebraic expressions and equations. You'll need to read through and copy the learning intentions and success criteria into your exercise book. And as we go through the slides, any other notes, you can take those. And at the end of the slides, there will be a bunch of questions from your Jack Plus Math Zone books. You will need to work on those and practice with those questions. You can pause the video at any time so that you have time to write down your notes. Now, this is the first lesson. We are looking at the language of algebra. We are learning the language of algebra. That is our learning intention and our success criteria. We will be successful when we can understand what a pronumeral, term, expression, coefficient, constant, and equation is, and we can write algebraic expressions. An expression and equation, they are slightly different. An algebraic expression does not have an equal sign. So 4n squared plus 7 is an expression. An equation, however, does have an equal sign. So 4n squared plus 7 minus 11 is an equation. It actually contains two expressions, the 4n squared plus 7 and an expression which is just the number 11. Now, let's have a quick look at how this breaks down. So we have an equation here. Equation's made up of lots of things. We have our operators, that's stuff like squares, minuses, times, divides, those types of things. Now, when we look at this, the smallest parts, we look at the terms. Each term is a single number, a variable, or it could be a number multiplied by a variable or a number divided by a variable. So in this case, we have minus 9x squared. The minus is part of that term. We also have 52x squared. We have plus 36, 7m, and plus 82 as terms as well. Now, we have an expression, as we said before, the expressions are without the equal sign. So we have 52x squared. Minus 9x plus 36 is one expression. And on the right hand side, we also have 7m plus 82. We have variables. Variables are symbols that we don't yet know what the number is. They're also called pronumerals. So in this case, we have m. I've highlighted as our variable or pronumeral. And on the left hand side, we have x as a variable and pronumeral. Coefficient. Coefficient is the number that is before the variables. So the highlighted one is 7. So the coefficient of 7m is 7. Or the coefficient that is before m is 7. On the left hand side, we also have coefficients. We have negative 9 for this term here, which is the negative 9x. So the coefficient there is just negative 9. The coefficient of x squared is 52. And x squared is different to x. So when we say coefficient of x, we want this minus 9. When we want the coefficient of x squared, we want the 52. And the constant is this plus 82 at the end. Okay, it's a number by itself. We have to remember the sign is part of that constant. And the other constant here is this 36. Now let's have a look at this expression here. 6x minus 3xy plus z plus 2 plus x squared z plus y squared over 7. You need to go through, work out the number of terms, the coefficient of the last term, the term with the smallest coefficient, the coefficient of the second term, the constant term, and the coefficient of x squared z. You can pause the video while you practice that, and I will be going on in a second. So we have 6 terms. in there, 6 terms, we have 6x minus 3xy plus z plus 2 plus x squared z plus y squared divided by 7, or y squared over 7. The coefficient of the last term, that is 1 over 7. So the coefficient isn't just the number that's before the term, it also includes any fractions or divisions. So in this case, it's 1/7. The term with the smallest coefficient is actually negative 3xy. Negatives are always smaller than positives. And remember, the more negative it is, the bigger, and I'm using that in quotes, the number is. So negative 3 is smaller than any of the other coefficients. The constant term in here is the term without, the coefficient of the second term here is just negative 3. The constant term is 2, number without any pronumerals. And the coefficient of x squared z, if we have a look here, there is no number before there, but there actually is a number, and that number is 1. Here are the questions that you need to do in your exercise book. They're questions 1 to 3 out of your textbook. You can pause the video here to do them, or look at your textbook. As a reflection, you need to write in 20 words what you have learnt from today. You can describe or tell us what you have learnt in the maths lesson. How to use and combine those 20 words is completely up to you, and try to use some mathematical terminology within those 20 words.